What's going on, everybody? Today we'll be doing a review of EAFC 26's career mode, more specifically manager mode. And everyone who's expecting a third episode in the Bolton Wanderers series, unfortunately we've had our second FIFA glitch happen where the Manchester United career mode we did had a glitch where we weren't playing in the League Cup and we weren't able to qualify for Europe even if we actually did. And now I've got hit with a corrupt save file for the Bolton Wanderers season. I haven't had a corrupt file in, I want to say, a decade, and I won't let these two just, I guess, very bad luck things happen to me influence what I thought about this year's version of the game. But having said all that, let's get into the review. I think this year's game was a little bit of a mixed bag. I'll start with some of the positives. I think the gameplay in this year's game was very, very smooth, even playing on Ultimate. The AI did try to be fancy at times and with lower skilled players while we were playing in League One and the Championship. Turned the ball over quite often because the skill didn't reflect what the AI was trying to do, which led to a lot of chances for us. But overall, I thought the gameplay was very smooth and did do a little bit of an increase on last year's version. Some of the things I really did like about the new improvements, if you will, to career mode was the events that took place. The range of events of what could happen to you in your saves would vary, but for the most part I thought it was interesting and kept the mode looking fresh. The one downside I found to it was when things like player wages leaked happened, there wasn't really a morale deficit or any real consequences from events like that. That's something I think they can improve on for next year's game. And the other thing I thought was cool was being able to track the 5 leagues and their stats. It was a nice change. I mean, should we be praising this change like it's some game-changing mechanic? No, because it's 2025 and why wasn't this available already? But at least we have it this time, so we're not going to complain for good things that we got. Next, we'll go to things I guess I was indifferent about in this game, which was the Youth Academy. Yes, they made some changes when you were playing the 4-on-4 games and you can use subs mid-game, but for me, that wasn't enough. Why wasn't that available already? So it's, again, one of those changes that we shouldn't be applauding EA for making. That should just be something that's readily available already. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I have all the answers for this, but it's just felt like the same thing for the past few years now. And I'm hoping that they can do something to really inject new life into getting a youth player to come through your academy and grow on and play for the big team. The other thing I was indifferent about was the manager market. And I know this was a very cool thing on the outset, but like for me personally, I like to do my playthroughs as like a road to glory where I'm not really jumping from team to team. So in theory, if this is something that you enjoyed yourself, I get that 100%. If you want to play as a manager and you, let's just say, wanted to start at a lower leveled club and you want to make your way up to one of the giants in Europe, like I get that. That's kind of a cool new way that you could introduce that. But when it comes to changing managers, I didn't really see much change throughout. I mean, I got stopped both times with glitches, but I went 3 seasons both times and then nothing really changed. So maybe I just wasn't playing enough to see change, but I didn't really see any big moves at all. And now the two things I really did not like with this year's game, and I feel like this has been an issue with these things for a few years now, so hopefully EA can get this settled for future games. The first is going to be the owner goals. Now I know they've addressed this and you can actually turn this off, but you want to play with some realism, and if you're not performing, you want to give the board the option to sack you. But at the same time, it's like the thing that bothers me the most in any road to glory that I do when you're playing in England, this goal right here is always on the docket that you have to achieve, and it's reach the round of 16 in the FA Cup. For those of you that don't know, that is one of the biggest tournaments in England, and it's so dependent on the luck of the draw, especially when you're playing in League 2 or League 1, that you might get a giant in the Premier League like in the round of 64. So it's like there's not really a good option to even go with a League 2 or a League 1 team to get to the round of 16. Like that would be a massive success. I feel like that goal in particular should be tailored to what league you're playing in and not just be reach the round of 16 every single time. Maybe that's just something that I have an issue with. You can let me know down in the comments if that bothers you as well. But at the same time, I don't think this next one anyone could debate. The transfers are still broken in EAFC. People can point to the AI teams going to grab players where they don't need them and stacking up goalies or stacking up strikers or whatever. For me, that actually doesn't bother me. If they want to do that, I don't have a problem with that. It's the realism in the transfers that absolutely drive me nuts. Especially because we've now been given the choice to enforce strict transfer rules on ourselves. It needs to be realistic throughout the rest of the game as well. Like when I'm playing in the championship, there's a chance I have a player who's like 75 overall rated saying he doesn't want to relocate. And I get that. That makes sense. Maybe we're not in a good enough league for that player to play in. The example I have for this exact situation was mind-blowing. I was playing in the championship with Bolton, and at the January transfer window, Wolves somehow landed Pedro Neto from Chelsea. There is no world where Neto should be going down to the championship from Chelsea. Like, even if he's not getting the minutes on the Chelsea bench, there's at least 14 other Premier League teams who'd want Neto on their team. Let him go there instead. Or go to a big team in Italy or Germany or France, you know, or Spain. Just why is he going to the championship? It makes absolutely no sense. So I think that's something I really want EA to address going forward, is just realistic transfers, man. That should not be something difficult to implement in 2025. So that was basically my quick review of EAFC 26's career mode, manager mode, if you will. Kind of an abrupt end for me on FIFA this year. With two just bad luck things happening, of the glitch with the live season start and then just having a corrupt save file. Man, again, it has been years since that happened. Overall, I guess I did enjoy the game. Is it worth buying? I'd probably say no. If you have 25, EAFC 25, you're probably good with that. You don't need an upgrade right now. That would just be a few minor tweaks, but you can live without them. Maybe save your cash and wait for EAFC 27. But that's it for me for EA 26. I'll be maybe doing a WWE 2K25 My GM mode one more time before we wait for 2026. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video coming soon.